Neither of these penalties for a penalty is new, players said Wednesday. But Bowles is bringing his hammer down this week after the Jets were a flag-drawing disaster in Sunday's 31-28 loss at Miami. They drew 12 penalties for 124 yards, including 5 flags for 26 yards in the fourth quarter when they blew a 14-point lead. The Jets actually drew 14 flags in Miami, but 2 were declined. Bowles is sick and tired of this. Coach said he's just not putting up with it anymore, safety Marcus May told New Jersey Advance Media. You can tell that he's putting more emphasis on it now, based on last week. The Jets, 3-4, rank among the NFL's most penalized teams. They have been flagged 67 times, 3 off the league lead, and have officially drawn 57 penalties, 1 off the lead, when you take out declined calls. The Jets lead the NFL with 546 penalty yards. They have 15 pre-snap penalties, 10 off the league lead. But they have 3 players with 6 total penalties this year, cornerbacks Morris Claiborne and Buster Skrine, an inside linebacker Darren Lee, and 1 player with 5, right guard Brian Winters. The Jets are actually 3-1 in their highest penalty games this year. They beat Miami in Week 3 despite 10 flags for 94 yards. They also beat the Jaguars despite 10 flags for 70 yards. And they topped the Browns despite 9 flags for 80 yards. But the Jets' 12-flag, 124-yard mess in Miami was their worst penalty outing of 2017. The flags finally caught up to them. It was bound to happen eventually. That's really been a back burner for us winning and losing games, defensive end Coney Ely said. It's got a lot to do with youth. We have a young team. But after going through it and putting ourselves in some of these situations, when it comes to winning or losing games, we've got to recognize it sooner or later and correct the situation. Lee disagreed that the Jets' youth is to blame, but he agrees the Jets are burning themselves. I don't think age really means anything with that, Lee said. We've definitely got to cut down on that because it's killing us and it's costing us in the game. I've already taken ownership upon myself to play smarter. I knew that since Little League that they'll cost you the game. That's nothing new to me. Everybody knows that. With the defending NFC champion Falcons, 3-4, visiting the Jets this week, fixing the penalty problem is imperative. This is the week it has to stop because Atlanta is a good ball team, said outside linebacker Jordan Jenkins. If we have penalties like we did the last couple weeks, we're going to lose the ball game. We have to work this week to overly focus on eliminating penalties. Bowles said the Jets are trying something a little different this week to wipe out penalties, but he declined to specify. He is beyond frustrated with this issue, considering how much he has spoken to his team about it. We've been addressing them, he said of penalties. We've just got to find an answer for it. We talk about it every day all day, since this spring. So is Bowles hopeful the penalties will finally go away this week against Atlanta? I'm not hopeful, he said. It needs to get fixed. I'll be optimistic when I see it happen. Ultimately, it's on us, said tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who has 4 penalties this year, despite it playing in just 5 of the Jets' 7 games.